Warning. The following podcast contains vulgar language and terrible ideas. This is Crudimentary Questions with your hosts, Sandy and Jill.
Hey, Sandy.
Hey, Jill.
So I have a question for you.
Oh, I can't wait.
You can't wait. Okay, so how much money could I give you to be naked in public?
Like, you mean what would I?
What would it take?
What would it take?
Yeah. Would you?
What is the? I guess in public is kind of vague.
It is vague. Okay, let me say it like this. You can choose either you're on stage, like a play.
Okay.
Or a movie.
Mm-hmm.
Or you're just running down the street.
Okay, well, obviously, a play or a movie would be acceptable
Something
to me.
you would pay. I would like to be paid for.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I would take a reasonable sum.
Yeah, but the thing is it's like I could understand just running on the street because it's one time, and unless someone captures it on video, it's just like that's it. They had one chance to see your butt.
Here's the thing: it's art. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like I am. I think this is true for a lot of people who are particularly creative people, but they are willing to put themselves through a lot more or do a lot more or expose themselves a lot more if it is in fact art. You know, it's like if you're an actor and you need to cry in for a scene, that's a lot different than like having a breakdown in the TSA line at the airport, you know, like you might be embarrassed about crying in front of the TSA agent, you know, because like you forgot your keys are in your pocket and it's just the last straw. But you wouldn't feel embarrassed about crying, you know. Like,
okay, I see. Because it's acting.
Because it's acting.
Right.
I mean, it's the same way. Like we're both songwriters. Like, and we'll talk about things that are very sensitive. But
sure.
It's not like I'm just gonna go walk up to some person I just met and was like, hey, did you know it took me 5 years to break up with God? And it was really traumatic and sad? I'm not going to do that, but I am going to play songs for strangers, you know?
Okay, so with performing, it's like a lot different than just being a crazy person.
Yes.
Like a random crazy person.
Yeah, that's actually funny. I know the topic today is not performance, but this is interesting, I think. Seriously, the difference between being a crazy person and being an artist is like this aspect of performance. Line. Yeah. Okay. It's like if you are doing something really wacky, but it's purposeful and like in a spot for it, then yeah, everyone's like the Blue Man Group, for crying out loud, you know? Like if there was just a bunch of guys who painted themselves blue and just ran around and banged on pipes, I mean, sure. We'd call that performance art, sure, but it would be, it's much more sort of acceptable if it's on, in theater.
Going on that, you would be willing to be like naked on the streets if it was a part of performance art.
I mean, if it was a piece of art
someone was body painting you or something.
Yeah, I would say if it was a piece of art that was very meaningful to me, then yes, all of this is true.
Sure.
By the way, our topic today is nudity.
Yes.
And I have been thinking about this. I've been thinking about this a lot.
Yeah.
Because I think this thing sort of like happens. Okay, well let's go back to the beginning if that's okay with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So when you were younger, when you were like a child, were you embarrassed about being naked?
There was a very clear moment in my life where it was almost like overnight. Mm-hmm. I was okay with being naked. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden, I wasn't anymore. Mm-hmm. And I remember the exact moment I used to take baths with my best friend, who was my age, but he was a boy. Mm-hmm. And
it meant he had a thingy.
And that meant he had a different down below.
Yeah, he had a different set of
but we didn't care because we were playing with floaties in the bathtub. We cared more about the sinking toy shark and the submarine toy than we did about our Willie and Hoo-Ha. Mm-hmm. So, but then there was this one moment where my mom was giving us both a bath because we were spending the night together, and she took our clothes off and said, "Okay, jump in the bathtub," and we covered ourselves.
Oh.
And I remember because he pointed at me, and like, I maybe it was the same time. Gosh, I think we must have been 5 or 6, maybe too old.
No, I mean, like, there's like, it's a real thing. Because I remember this one time, I feel like this is very, very, like, I've heard a lot of people say that this happened when they were children, and so it's very, very normal. It's not sexual at all. But, like, when you were a little too old for a bath, but a little too young to shower, like, my mom would just have me in the shower with her. And we, you know, did that happen? Did your mom do that? Or, because I've heard it from a lot of people, like, dads did it with the boys, and, you know.
I think that my mom used to be naked in front of me, but I've never been, or I don't remember being put in the shower with her.
Well, one of the moments where I
definitely not with my dad, though.
Oh yeah. I didn't either. But I think one of the moments that I wouldn't say that I was ashamed of my own body, but I was suddenly very aware of nakedness. Was one time we were in a hurry and my mom was like, "Come on, let's get in the shower," and I had this thought in my head, like, it was suddenly I was too old, and I knew it. But I just
exactly.
But I was doing as I was told, and so we got in there, and I just remember the entire time I was like, all of a sudden I was incredibly uncomfortable. Whereas the day before I hadn't been uncomfortable.
I know. It's very weird. I mean, my sister has always been, you know, I'm gonna take all my clothes off.
Yeah, mine too.
She used to dance for company naked in the living room.
As
just bare ass naked.
She was, you know, she was only 21.
There are pictures in my parents' house that could be considered kiddie porn now. Oh, because it's my sister.
Oh my god.
I mean, she's basically doing jumping jacks.
No, of course. But yeah, like kids don't, especially if the context really isn't sexual, you know. That's the thing. Because I remember another thing was, my family was, wasn't that, weird about like nudity, like in the home is sort of like you just have to sometimes be naked when you're a family, you know, changing and all that. But we were very strict about modesty outside the home, even when we were like very small children. And I remember going to the beach, and these other families would let their kids run around naked on the beach.
Awkward.
Yeah, and it just made me feel really like that. Even that was just made me I was like, oh no.
Yes, I've always been modest.
Yeah.
You know, ever since that experience in the bathtub.
Yeah. So as you got older, then let's move on into like
adolescence.
Yeah, and puberty and stuff like that. I mean,
sure. Always, I learned how to take my undergarments off without removing my you know,
are you saying
fishing the bra through the sleeve of the shirt?
You could take the bra off without taking the shirt off. Yeah,
you know, because gym class you'd have to change, and you know you wouldn't have to get naked necessarily, but very, very close to. And I used to go into the bathroom stall and change because I would get too embarrassed.
Yeah, I didn't understand people who didn't. I couldn't get to the bathroom stall most of the time. There's usually some other even more insecure girl had, because I was homeschooled until 7th grade, and I finally went to a private Christian school.
Yeah.
And so like these are small classes, and our locker room's small and everything.
Yeah.
And so I think I never knew who it was, but I think some other insecure girl who was just faster than me would get to the stall. And so of course I'm the whole like changing with my back to the rest of the locker room, like concealing as much as I possibly could. But here's the thing, I was so uncomfortable because I think a lot of this conversation is going to be dictated around like how comfortable you are with your body.
Right.
And I was so uncomfortable with my body at the time that I was wearing 2 bras because I didn't want my nipples to poke through my little polo shirt.
But isn't it interesting how, you know, it's about being comfortable with your body, but then maybe it's not, because we can walk on the beach in bikinis, just basically underwear.
Yeah.
You know, especially if you're wearing a skimpy one. You know, the kind that like tie.
Yeah.
You know, and
string. We call those
string bikinis.
We call those string bikinis.
String bikinis. Okay, so really you're only uncomfortable with showing a tit and your bush, right? If you think about it.
Yeah. Well, that's for people who are comfortable wearing bikinis, because not everybody is, but
sure. But I am no longer, but I used to be okay with the bikini, but if my top fell off in the ocean like it did once, I all of a sudden became embarrassed. So funny though, because it's just like a little triangle of skin that you're concerned about.
But I mean, I think we can have some version of this conversation about so many things where it's like there is such a fine line between obscenity and just complete normalcy.
Right.
I mean, everybody remember the whole Janet Jackson having her, that top ripped off thing at the Super Bowl. What, 15 years ago?
And she was wearing a nipple tassel.
Yeah, but...
So it was totally planned, by the way.
Yeah, everybody knows it was planned. But here's
planned.
The thing. If that hadn't been a tassel, if that had been a pasty, it probably still would have been controversial, but it wouldn't have been anything like it turned out to be. Do you know what I mean? It's just if they were literally wearing, if she literally had, this maybe 2-inch, in diameter... circle stuck on a nipple. Suddenly you can show it on TV. Take that off and you can't. You know what I mean? I don't know why we have these weird hang-ups where there's this it's we just get as close to these lines as we can, and then all of a sudden it's no, now you're not allowed.
Now you're not allowed. I know, and it's interesting because I watch a lot of TV shows with nudity, and I get excited when it's, that thing comes across the screen.
Oh, yeah. It's HBO.
Contains nudity.
With HBO, when it starts a show, it's warning.
I'm like, ooh!
And, I get, you're disappointed if there's only 2 things listed. There are, strong language adult situations. Oh no, this is gonna be stupid.
I'm not gonna see anything cool.
Yeah, and then it says, strong language, adult situations, violence, and extreme nudity.
And then, yes. You've seen extreme. What's extreme nudity?
Okay, it's extreme
is that,
violence.
The penis is just, windmilling
Actually,
everywhere?
I would say extreme nudity would be showing a dick.
Yeah.
And
or the dick is skateboarding across the screen, maybe.
Okay.
Because it's extreme. Extreme sports.
The dick is one of those skiers that does the flips,
Yes.
off the jumps.
He's a snowboarder.
Yeah.
Whatever that guy's name
He's
is.
he's a rollerblader from the 90s.
Because he would only have a single row of wheels.
That's a good point. I feel like skateboarding is the best extreme sports venue for a penis.
Yes, I agree.
And I'd like to also, is it tip on
I know.
board or is it balls on the board?
I thought of an erect penis with little legs and hands, and he was skateboarding,
Okay, but is the tip the head?
Right.
The head is head?
Right.
Okay, and so the balls are his butt.
Basically Gumby,
Gumby, but
That's
a
good.
but a dick.
But a penis.
Okay.
Yeah.
I kind of like the idea of not having the arms and legs, though.
Sure.
So, the balls can just sort of rest.
So maybe it's like a suction cup dildo on a skateboard, basically.
Well, see, if they're actually trying to do, flip tricks, they will need to be able to, maneuver. I think the balls would need to be able to maneuver. I don't know if you know how to do...
Oh, the balls would have to be involved, so
Yeah.
the balls would be basically the feet.
Yeah.
Mm.
You know what? If we can get some feedback sometime from some skateboarders, how...
Would you put sneakers on the balls? Some high tops?
Some ball sneakers? Some Converse? They're just really round.
Okay, yeah.
They're just really, really round.
I need to see a drawing of this.
You know what I think
it'd
be like? Something. Okay, I don't know if this ever actually happened, but you remember Barney the dinosaur, right?
Oh yeah.
Did he ever wear shoes, for some sort of dress-up thing?
No. Okay,
but was there I feel like some character like him maybe did, because
you're thinking of the dinosaur from Dinosaurs, the 90s show where it was a sitcom?
Yeah, no, I'm actually not thinking about that.
The cool, teenager dinosaur with the senior jacket. He had Converse.
He did, but I'm thinking more because Barney's feet are so round and big is what I'm thinking about.
Are.
So if you had shoes for testicles, I think they would just need to be very round and big.
You know what they would be like? They would be like baby shoes.
They would be like boots.
Because, like booties, and they would just suction over.
Yeah,
them.
they were just kind of, yeah. With some nice soles, though.
Yeah, with some style.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have some style for those.
Yeah, this would be great because
for those balls.
They're wearing shoes, but nothing else. It's just a naked dick with shoes on the balls.
Oh, this is great.
Yeah.
This is wonderful.
Well, okay, anyway, so why we're talking about HBO. You wanted to talk about TV shows with a lot of nudity,
No, this is much better.
Yeah. But did you have a point?
Oh, well, okay. So I was watching this show called Versailles, which is about Louis the 14th, and it's very historical, and the costumes, and everything.
Oh, get to the dicks.
Every single scene, it's all about who's gonna get naked first.
Oh yeah.
Every single scene. And it's the king, it's all of his mistresses, it's his brother who is gay.
Oh, yeah.
Outwardly gay.
Sure.
In Versailles.
Yeah.
And so he has all these
lovers.
And I have a tally when I start the show of how many butts in this because there's a lot of butts.
Yeah.
Butts are the easiest thing, I think, to show.
Well, butts are sort of the original, like, just to stick to our topic a bit, like, especially, particularly, I guess we're talking about nudity in media. And I just remember when, like, in the 90s, my family was finally starting to, like, actually watch movies.
Sure.
And Kevin Costner just showed his butt all the time in all his movies. Like,
I know.
With Wolves, right?
He had a thing in his contract sometimes where...
I think that might be a myth. Let's call him. Let's call Kevin.
I do like that part in Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, where he's bathing in the lake and she comes to talk to him. For some reason, Maid Marian comes to talk to Kevin Costner as a British Robin Hood.
That sounds
who is not.
Sounds like he's from Iowa.
Not British. He's from Iowa.
I'm Robin Hood.
He's
like, hey there, I'm Robin Hood. I'm from Birmingham.
He's Robin McDermott.
Yeah.
No,
but
so he's bathing, and I remember that scene so well because she's, oh, Maid Marian, you can't disturb him while he's bathing in the lake, and then Kevin Costner butt.
Oh, there it is.
There it is.
Butt. But I just remember that being like really controversial at the time. Like people being
totally.
like, like scandalized, that like Kevin Costner was showing his butt. And then there was this TV show called NYPD Blue, which I've never really seen. But the main character I just remember was kind of a bigger man, and he showed his butt on TV. And it was like after like 9 o'clock. So it wasn't like that. Like that was supposed to be the not as big a deal, but I just remember, like, my parents just loved listening to conservative talk radio, and they were talking about how it was absolutely the downfall of, like, morality in America, and I think they were right, and I think that's great, because if being moral means I can't look at some sweet ass, then I don't want to be moral. But like it was like that.
What is I wonder a lot. What is the draw of butts? Because both sexes own a pair of booties, and
a pair. I think you have one booty.
You have one
cheeks.
booty, two. Okay, well,
but the two cheeks is one booty.
But if you think of like boots is a pair still, right? Okay, no, I'm confusing it. The point is that I get it. Everyone can appreciate a nice round luscious peach of a butt. I get that.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
you
trying to figure out what is the allure of seeing. I mean, I guess there are differences between a man and a female, but is there? But is there?
But is there? I mean, we could get into a whole conversation about all of human sexuality and why on earth are the big sacks of fat with nipples hanging off of our chests like the most coveted thing in the world to a lot of men and women. I
can understand why the privates are because
that's where
that's where
we that's where it goes.
Have those are the pleasure nodules.
Well, the tits are pleasure nodules as well. Yeah, they are for me. Oh, good Lord.
Really?
Oh man, yeah. I'm all about that.
I think they do more for the guy than the girl sometimes.
Well, I mean, this is my personal experience. I very much enjoy.
Well, I get it. I get it. Nudity it's almost as if we've coveted it for so long that when it's revealed, it's exciting.
Yeah, but there is also definitely like a saturation point where
totally
you are so used to okay, back to just nudity
TV shows
in the media and TV shows and stuff. So when I was growing up, pornography was not a thing, in my house, and of course then we get the internet, And
oh yeah, oh whoa,
yeah, and it's like,
instant messages.
Well, you're like, so you're not
of so much stuff.
Yeah, and of course we're not supposed to like be looking at pornography, but like, you know, you stay up late at night. You know, you're.
I don't know. I feel like okay, there's a difference to me between tasteful nudity and gratuitous,
or just porn. Yeah, there's a difference between nudity existing and pornography, obviously.
Sure.
But what I'm talking about mostly is that, like, I'm just saying my own personal experience is that I was very much unexposed to nudity outside of, like, you know, just normal family interactions, you know, like moms, you know, changing, and you have to be there because you're, you know,
or
a
diapers,
child. Yeah, diapers,
babies,
my, you know, younger siblings, that sort of thing.
Well, yeah, pornography sexualizes it.
Yeah.
Nudity doesn't have to be sexual.
No, it doesn't. But here's the thing. So, you know, my family was very strict about all that, but they were also very strict about sexuality in general. And so, like, it became this, and they were very strict about how much skin we could show, especially as girls. And so it definitely did become this thing where nudity did equal sexuality.
Mm.
And I remember, like, my dad was a photographer when he was, you know, in like high school and college, and he had I think they maybe forgot they had it, but they had a book of photography, like just sort of about like the history of photography and just examples of really good photography and stuff, just stashed away in our living room, just our big bookshelf. And I had memorized where all the naked pictures were.
Mm.
And these were mostly just like tasteful nudes sort of thing, you know, art and, you know, a couple things about fashion. There was no actual like quote unquote pornography in the book, but like I wanted to see that, you know, and it was, you know, mostly women who'd had their pictures taken naked, but sometimes men. But I also, there's an encyclopedia. We had a big, you know, the whole series, you know, the A to Z encyclopedia. And I memorized where I could look up certain pieces of artwork. These are just paintings, but they had naked people in the paintings. Mm. And so, like, and that really, like, excited me so much. Oh, yeah.
I mean, if you think about the history of Renaissance art, every single sculpture, almost, every single sculpture, I mean, David.
Oh, yeah.
Think about the statue of David. Very, very nude.
Very, yeah.
But the emphasis is surprisingly on his hands, you know, because it's David and Goliath, the story where he slays the giant with the slingshot. He actually has a slingshot hanging on his back. I don't know if you realize
I didn't
that.
actually know that, no.
Yeah, he's holding his left arm back and he's holding a slingshot. Anyways, his hands are sculpted super huge.
Yeah.
And his little David is sculpted very, very, very small.
He's got a little dick.
He's got a little thing.
David's got a little dick.
And the reason I don't know why I researched this, but the reason is because this was supposed to go on top of a cathedral or a statue or a museum or something like that. And so it was supposed to be seen from the streets.
Oh, yeah.
And so the point of the sculpture was his hands. You know, that was the most important thing about it. And the penis wasn't that important. It was almost like my friend and who went to art school, she used to have to draw nudes. And she said she would draw everything in perfect detail, all the body parts except for the penis. When she ever should get to the penis, she'd just draw a little scribble.
Yeah. I don't like it.
I don't know what to do.
I don't want to draw.
I don't want to draw all the veins and stuff. Yeah, I'm just gonna do a scribble.
No scribble. That's what it is anyway, right?
It's just a scribble. Just
a
little line.
Hair. Just give him a little bush.
But the face and the lips,
like
sure, every single lip like crack and indentation. But then the penis is just this tiny little.
Well, that's the thing. Like, she's totally fine with all the rest of the body except for that one.
I know, it's very interesting.
And you know, interesting about art, and I think we're moving into like the like how nudity is treated as dirty or something. Yeah, just something to be ashamed of or avoided. You know, for a lot of people, particularly religious folks. One of my friends was a studio art major, and the college she went to was affiliated with a Christian denomination, and at the time, and so they would take figure drawing classes because you have to when you're a studio art major. But when they would do the models who are supposed to be nude, they would have to wear underwear.
Mm.
And yeah.
No.
Yeah. And so she showed me
all the fun sucked out of it.
Yeah, just sucked the fun. And so she showed me pictures of like, can you pour me some too? Because I can't figure out how to work the spout. Yeah, we've got wine here, and I've been bested by the wine spout. I can't make it.
Oh
go.
Yeah, you have to push up. It's very strange.
I don't like that at all. Anyway, so she would show me these pictures that she'd worked on for her art class, and it would show this like woman, with like her fat rolls around her bra, which is like fine, but she's also not drawing the boobs. Here's the main point. That one of their models was a very attractive young man, and he had to wear his boxer briefs.
That's messed up.
Well, and here's the thing. She said that because this guy had a great body and he was attractive, and he was wearing these boxer briefs, all of a sudden he was sexualized to her. If he'd just been naked, she would have been looking at him as a model for her to draw and learn from. Oh. And instead she was thinking about him as an underwear model.
Because all of a sudden you put oh yeah, I did that too.
Naughty Jill, what did you do?
My friend's dad was in a play, because he's an esteemed actor, and he was in this play that of course the warning, a little nudity.
A little nude.
I was excited. And then this beautiful man comes on stage, and he is nude, but you don't see anything because there's a sheet involved in the scene. But I just remember, I don't know what happened in that scene because I had a side. My husband is sitting right next to me, by the way.
Yeah.
And he just, his butt was sticking out a little bit, just enough for me to be excited about it, and I was completely distracted the whole time.
Yeah, because you're not used to that kind of thing. So I think we are going to, I'm still not sure how we're going to do this, go to the internet.
Oh, well.
And look up nudity on the internet.
Gosh, I have so much more to say about this topic. This is very difficult.
We can have a multiple part series on nudity.
I think we must come back to this. Yeah. This is definitely a deep hole.
Yeah. That's what he said.
Pun intended.
Okay.
So yeah, we'll be back for
internet, looking up nudity on the internet.
Interneting.
Yeah.
We're going to figure it out.
All right.
Sandy, I had a question for you.
Oh, really? What is it?
Did you know you could find us, Crudimentary Questions, on social media?
I didn't know that.
By George, you can.
Ugh.
On Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Well, what is the handle?
Crudimentary Q's, because questions was too long.
Oh, and it's Q with an S on the end?
It's QS, Crudimentary, which is a made-up word, QS.
Well, that's just fabulous.
Yes, find us there. We post weird stuff all the time.
Hey, do you ever interact with your followers?
Sometimes, or sometimes it's a robot.
Woo!
Anyway, back to the show.
Hey. We are now doing our segment called Interneting.
Do-do-do.
And this is where we look up questions on the internet pertaining to our topic. And our topic today is nudity. And
yes.
Jill has looked up some things on the internet, and I have not seen them actually.
No.
This time, but
they're great.
Is it or is it not pornography that you?
Oh no, it's strictly nudity. I mean, we're gonna do a porn episode.
I'm just saying, like, if you look up naked people on the internet.
No, I didn't do a Google image search.
Okay.
I did a well, right now we're doing Yahoo Answers.
Cool, love it.
In the hopes that one day we'll actually get questions from the people. But for now, we are anonymous.
Sure.
Anyway, so Sandy.
Yes.
Why are people so close-minded against nudity? A person claimed that they did not want to see saggy balls under the pretense that they are aesthetically unflattering. Is that really a fair argument? Like, should it be illegal? Wait, sorry.
To be clear, Jill is reading a Yahoo Answers question. That's not like her suddenly. Not
Okay,
being
wait.
able to
I'm going to
speak.
read this verbatim because it's hilariously grammatically incorrect.
It does not sound like this person.
Is that really a fair argument? It should be illegal not because anyone gets hurt by it, but because it is not pleasing to my eyes.
All right. Well, let me see if I can decipher the word salad. It seems like they're saying, why are people so close-minded about nudity? It seems like the issue is more that they don't like the way something looks rather than what nudity actually is.
Yeah, okay, so they continue with...
Oh, God, there's more?
Oh, yeah. Okay, with that argument, some ugly people should not show their faces. Some people are not in shape, so they should not have the right to wear a swimsuit. Some people's cars are ugly, so they should not be able to drive them in public.
What is the question?
I could go on.
No, please don't. Oh my God.
But the argument against nudity...
You know what? Some
No,
people's
saying-
dogs are really ugly, and so they should just shoot them in the face.
Okay, so he's saying this is illogical. So I could go on, but the argument against nudity has no logic to stop people from doing something that is truly natural. So, okay, this is more talking about people who are nude in public and maybe don't have the body to be nude.
Well, I think you're actually feeding into this.
Have you ever been to a nude beach?
Yes. Well, I've how about this? I've been to Australia.
Mm.
And in Australia, there.
Oh yeah, they go topless.
Well, here's the thing: every beach in Australia is a nude beach because it's just not illegal to be nude. There's very few what do you call them? Anti-nudity laws or whatever. Public nudity laws or whatever. I can't remember exactly the
Indecent exposure.
indecent exposure. I mean, obviously, if you are flashing somebody and like wagging your dick at little girls, like that's gonna be a problem. But for the most part, like going topless is not.
If
a
you're
big deal.
raping someone,
Yeah.
that's a problem.
Still, that's good. That's we're gonna take issue with that. But so just every beach it's not illegal to like be naked on the beach. Here's the thing: all the people just generally like they self-regulate, and there's almost always just one end of the beach. That is the nude. That's where all the people go to sunbathe nude, and then all the people who aren't sunbathing nude are just on the other end of the beach.
Well, so what I always heard was that the idea of the nude beach is all the hot people with the the skinny waists and the tan and the gorgeous bodies,
the rippling muscles,
and anti myself basically. But they're out there and they're naked and they're hanging out playing volleyball. Yeah. But when reality, it's actually more real people out there going at it.
Well, beautiful people are real people, but I think it's more specifically like you think about. I've heard of this for nudist colonies specifically. Is that people who are involved and this is all just purely anecdotal. I really don't know. Is that the people who are involved in like nudist communities tend to just be older.
Right.
And so
older.
If you go in there or if you go to like a nudist resort or something, if you go in there thinking it's just going to be a bunch of beautiful hard bodies, like
it's not Baywatch.
Yeah, the reality is a lot of these people are like over 50 years old, and this is how they're comfortable. And so and that's where it's like this is nudity, not sexualized nudity. And if you go in expecting sexualized nudity, I mean, you're just going to be disappointed.
I wish I could be one of those people that are just, I am 85 years old, I don't give a shit, and I'm going to be out here, I'm going to get an even tan, and I'm not going to care about all you youngsters who are judging me.
You're prioritizing an even tan when you're 85.
I don't know, maybe.
Well, I think you will. I think there's hope. I think you will be. Okay, but I would.
Is there another reason for being nude on the beach? I guess I don't know why.
I can imagine just being free, and being. I know for sure the beach that I was at, the beaches I was at in Australia, when I would see people sunbathing, I never saw anybody naked, but I did see them lots like topless women. And that very much does seem kind of a let's not have bathing suit lines, in tan.
Right.
Which is practical. But also, I gotta be honest, it looked really nice. Like just to lay out on the beach with like the sun baking on your bare breasts, like that seems very primal. And I mean, you've gone skinny dipping, right?
Oh yeah, we went. Remember?
Okay. To be fair, it was not a proper skinny dip because I was wearing the bikini bottoms.
Oh, I wasn't.
Oh, I was afraid of the fish nibbling on the hoo-ha.
They did nibble that night, but mostly on my toes. Like,
See, but
I didn't get down there.
I'd felt them on my toes, and so I just got a little. But I did swim topless in the. But didn't that feel like just sort of natural and primal and?
Sure. I felt mostly uncomfortable though.
Well, I mean, but that's because
because I mean, if I didn't get just to explain the skinny dipping, we didn't get naked and then jump in. We undressed in the water.
We were covered by the water.
The water was our clothing.
Yeah, and then
there was a little freeing, but mostly I was thinking to myself, I would feel the same if I had, it was almost a dare,
Well, it was a dare, and we were drinking, and
our friend floated by with his butt in the air on an inner tube.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is all, I mean, it's all a good time. But I will tell you, my personal experience was just that, that was very freeing, and I could see that being an appeal. Do we agree with this person who has no idea how to communicate via writing?
Right.
Yahoo Answers?
Yeah, I only liked it because he brought up saggy balls. Okay, so that leads me to my next question from the internet. It's, okay. Why is there so much more female nudity in movies than male nudities? And so...
Than male nudities?
Than male nudity.
Okay.
So I would think that the reason is because men are weirder looking down there.
Are you saying that people are less likely to be titillated by a flaccid dick?
Right.
Than they are a nice pair of titties?
Well, and I think it's easier for a female to have nudity with the boobs. Mm-hmm. They're more easy access.
Yeah.
Just like a man's chest is easy.
Yeah.
But then also, there are different levels of female nudity. Mm-hmm. Several different levels.
Yeah.
You got the boobs.
Yeah.
You've got the butt.
Yeah.
You've got the front of you've got the front of the vagina, which is just mostly hair, or not, or I don't know. Or sometimes rarely see that with just like a movie or something.
Yeah. The totally shaved is usually pornography.
And then pornography would be more spread eagle.
That's
down there.
The gynecological.
So
generally speaking, I think it's pretty safe to say that we don't see the gynecological level of nudity in most mainstream. Men. Oh no, in mainstream films for women.
Oh, for
you know
women.
What I mean?
Oh yes.
So I think.
But could you imagine that level that you say you don't often see, but you do sometimes? Of course, in porn mostly. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't know. Could you imagine that with a guy? I mean, I think of that Game of Thrones episode. Do you remember people were complaining because there were always girls being naked. Girls, you have a lot of female nudity, but not enough male nudity.
Yeah.
And then they just had this episode where they flashed a B character's dick for like 2 seconds. Uh-huh. Do you remember that?
I do remember it, but I can't remember who the character was or what the episode was.
It was one of the actors or something. No, he played an actor.
Oh, it was during the... Okay, yeah. I think I know what you're talking about.
During the one of the Arya scenes.
Yeah, I gotcha.
And I'm sorry if none of you are Game of Thrones fans, but basically what they do is they just flashed a penis for 3 seconds, and I want to tell you that I didn't enjoy it at all. I was surprised.
Oh.
I was kind of disgusted because this character was kind of disgusting.
Yeah.
And then I was confused as to So my dad watches the show. Right. And he would always text me after the show. About it. Ask me, like, what do you think of Jon Snow? Blah, blah, blah. So after this episode, I was really worried about his...
Oh, your dad's going to text you.
Going to say.
Hey, did you see the dick? Hey, Jill, how'd you like that man meat?
Like that penis? I mean, He did comment on it. He said, I thought that the nudity was over the top.
Okay, so here's the deal. I got some thoughts on the matter. So the question is, why do you see so much more female nudity than male nudity?
Sure.
Couple things. One, like you pointed out, there are more levels of nudity possible for a woman.
Right.
Butt, chest, vag. Where really with men, it's really just butt or dick. And for the very longest time, dick was absolutely out of the question.
Absolutely.
And even now, it can't be erect, which is honestly that's when it would be hot to actually see it.
Right.
So at the moment, if there are titties on the screen, they can be hot, kind of no matter what.
Right. There's not two different kinds of vaginas.
Yeah. And for the most part, like you said, I don't know of a mainstream actress that would be okay with like
Spread eagle.
Spread eagle.
True.
Because and I understand that it's like personal.
Well, I think it's
but no, here's the thing. Sorry. And I think it's pretty well documented that men are more visually stimulated just automatically than women. Like it's faster for them a lot of times.
And women can appreciate the beauty of another woman.
Yeah. And generally, everybody likes titties most of the time, even if you don't.
We all sucked on a mom's boob.
Well, some of
us didn't.
I did.
Okay.
But,
we were all designed to do that.
Yeah. That was But here's the thing. And I think this is changing for sure, but there has been this I think at least particularly in like for Hollywood movies and television shows, that men have had this protectiveness of their dicks, as in this is just too personal, whereas women, they're like, well, no, your body is there for us to ogle or do things to or comment on, or do you know what I mean? It's sort of like it is literally how women have been and still are objects. The problem is that for a long time it's like they were only objects or almost exclusively objects, and nudity did not have a ton to do with like the plot or any kind of artistic statement. It was just like, here's how we get people to go watch this movie. There are tits about an hour in, and it was just like, it's this whole idea that like, and sorry, I'm going to talk a little bit about the patriarchy for a minute, and this is not against any man in particular or whatever, but like this idea that like men are entitled to women's bodies, to look at them and derive pleasure from them. But if a woman wants to see a man's body, no, that's private. You know what I mean? And so your dad watches Game of Thrones, sees the ass and the titties, sees that very weird lesbian scene in the first season, and all of a sudden 3 seconds of a dick, and now the nudity's over the top because it was a man exposing himself, and that made him uncomfortable.
Or, and maybe not just the man thing, but because it's visually displeasing.
Well, of course, but that's the thing, like,
because he did also mention this scene in Game of Thrones, and I'm sorry for the non-Game of Thrones fans, but there is a scene where there's like a witch woman who is beautiful and young and voluptuous.
Okay,
and
spoiler alert.
Is that spoiler?
Yeah, this is kind of a spoiler.
Oh, okay. Spoiler alert. Okay. We'll just say this. If you're a Game of Thrones fan and you haven't seen this episode, shame on you. If you're not a Game of Thrones fan, you're not gonna probably watch it.
I think this spoiler is probably 4 years old. But are you talking about when she morphs into an old lady?
Right. So she morphs from a young woman, beautiful, naked, to a old woman, and they show everything. But she's just standing there, I mean, she's nude, but it doesn't, it is weird. I did watch it and thought, oh wow,
They're really showing that.
They're really showing this. And my dad texted me the best thing ever. He goes, "Oh no."
Oh no.
He says, "Oh no, that young woman is actually an old woman."
Yeah, right. Because here's the thing. I mean, like, I'm not knocking your dad or anything, but I think this is a pretty, I think, standard, especially for like people for his generation, is that he's okay with nudity as long as it's beautiful young women.
Right.
And all of a sudden, if it's an older person or maybe a heavier person, or God forbid, a man, all of a sudden he's all a Twitter.
Well, yeah, no, I'm not gonna say that, like, okay. I'm gonna say that I don't agree with him necessarily, but I didn't like the dick.
Sure.
And I thought the old woman was scary.
Well, yeah, and also the context of how the old woman like showed up is scary.
Sure.
But think of it. Okay, so what am I trying to?
But I was in the story. I wasn't thinking a naked old woman is scary or a penis is scary.
Yeah.
I was in the story.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I didn't think the penis is scary. I just thought it was weird. It was weird, okay?
Well,
there was no reason for them to show that.
Well, I think they were probably trying to pull a little joke on the audience.
It did seem a bit of a gesture.
Yeah.
A gesture. A tactic or something.
Yeah, which is just kind of disingenuous, and it does, it takes you out of the story, and I totally understand all of that. But I am just saying, like, somebody having, like, a really, like, a reaction of disgust when they see a penis, to me, especially if it's a man who's seeing a penis and is suddenly not okay with nudity, as opposed to having watched literally thousands of naked women and not thought, oh, that's too much.
Right.
I think, honestly, it displays, like, probably made him feel vulnerable to be like, oh no, dicks are on the table kind of thing, you know? Like, now you can show them. And now he might have to watch movies and TV shows with dicks in them. Whereas we've been having to watch movies and TV shows with women's naked bodies our entire time.
Yeah. Isn't it funny, though, because I haven't been bothered by female bodies.
See, I'm not bothered by them, but I'm just saying, like, there is this... I have to, part of it, there's like my own insecurities with my own bodies, because it's almost always perfect, beautiful, you know, tall, thin, you know, model bodies.
I have thought about this though. Boobs are varied, man.
Yeah,
boobs vary.
All sorts of kinds.
And I don't think that with men's, well, I guess men's chests also vary
bodies
somewhat.
Vary, yeah.
Bodies vary. Bodies vary. It's good. But I have thought about boobs just in general, like been kind of fascinated by how like some people have huge nipples, some people have small nipples, some people
like they're like the boobs are just like real flat against like their chest.
Ooh, I like that too.
Yeah, and then there's some
it's kind of androgynous, you know.
Yeah, and I mean it's not like they're just and there's nothing wrong with that, or you know, so you know what I mean. Some are like fuller.
Right.
So, you know, and I have always think it's so interesting the ones that like nipples point up, and then there are the ones where the nipples point down, and nipples are weird. Yeah, nipples are just weird. But
I mean, is it the nipples that this is what confuses me about boobs?
Yeah, one of the many things, perhaps.
The thing that makes us censored or like censorship is the nipple. However, that's the thing that we have in common with a men's chest. We both have nipples. The thing that makes it separate is the fact that ours protrude further out, most of us. I mean, not... Okay, how do I say this?
Some people have tiny little boobs.
A B cup.
Yeah.
C cup, you know, is different from a men's most... Well, in some... Okay, I'm really convoluting this by saying there are a lot of different bodies out there.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that a man could have protruding breasts with nipples, and it's totally fine because it's on a man's body.
No, it's definitely, and obviously people have like noticed this before, you know, like there's this TV show called Workaholics.
Oh yeah.
And then one of the first episodes, there was the joke was that a girl was sending just shots of her nipple to this guy. Of course, he thought it was a girl sending shots of her nipple to him, and it turns out it was his roommate sending shots of his nipple. And so the whole time it was a dude's nipple. But yeah, you're right. Like, you get up close like that. But we mentioned this in the first segment, that it's just like...
That sounds a lot like our actual experience with ass boobs.
Oh, right. Ass boobs. Do we have time to talk about ass boobs?
Producer, how much time do we have? 5 minutes?
We got 5 minutes.
5 minutes to talk about ass boobs.
5 minutes to tell the ass boobs story. Okay, so this is what happened. Were we playing poker? Who knows? We were playing games. Who cares? So my husband was out of town for work, and his work happened to be in a casino. I'm serious. And so I knew he was out of town, and I knew he was currently playing blackjack. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with casinos, but you're not supposed to have your phone out and, like, obviously using it because, you know, people run scams in casinos. So I knew he wasn't going to be able to pay attention to his phone that much. So there's a whole crew of us at my house, and we're playing games, and we're getting drunk. And I know how.
Well, I know
came
how.
Okay, you know how it came about. All right.
Because I suggested it.
All right.
Because I knew that you had been sexting your husband, and I knew that there were some racy photos because I accidentally swiped and saw them.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
so I came up with the idea, oh, you should send him a picture of your boobs, but actually they're of our friend's butt.
Our guy friend's butt.
Who we had his wife put.
Okay, so this is what happened. So we're like, at some point also it's just like ass cracks can kind of look like cleavage.
Ass
right?
cracks look very similar to cleavage.
Yeah. So we decided our one dude friend, we were like, would you be comfortable with getting one of my bras and putting it on your butt, and then have your wife take a picture of that, and then we send it.
And I loved the bra that you chose.
Well, I chose that bra because it was very distinctly he knew about it. It's a leopard print bra.
Very racy.
Yeah, it was kind of racy bra. So I choose choose the bra, and our friend goes up into the spare bedroom, drops trow, and they take this picture, and they bring it back down, and we're dying because it's seriously, if you look close, you can see like there's some hair, on the butt.
The hair is on the butt.
But it's like, it's just like the top of the butt, the top of the lower back, down into the butt cleavage with my bra on it. So I sent him the picture. And he goes like, he says something like boobies. He just writes back.
That's right.
He just
writes
goes,
back
boobies.
boobies.
He texts me back boobies.
And we're like, no.
No. And then I say, whose boobies? And he texts back, my baby's boobies. That would be me.
My babies.
And so we're dying laughing because we're just like, we fooled him. We absolutely fooled him.
I now, in retrospect, just because this is an episode about nudity,
Yeah.
I thought maybe we should have gone a next level and drawn tits on his ass and sent.
Right, just that.
Just
yeah,
that.
Like just our friend, our dude.
But I think he was embarrassed enough just to have
so
a documentation of
Yeah.
the top of his butt.
Yeah, eventually. So I think it was later that night I actually got to talk to him, and I was like, "Did you seriously think that those were my boobs? It was our dude friend's ass." And he was like, "Look, I couldn't really look at my phone because I was playing blackjack, and they don't want you looking at your phone. And it did look a little weird to me, but that was your bra. And one day maybe we can put that picture on our Twitter page or whatever."
We will.
Yeah, and
we'll ask the subject of the photo, but we will.
Actually, to this day, when Jill calls me, the picture that shows up is the ass boobs picture.
I'm proud of that.
It's great. It's
I'm very
great.
proud of it.
Yeah, we pulled it off, man.
No problem.
Pulled it off.
On that note, we are going to
move on to our next segment,
which is going to call one of our guy friends and ask him
about this topic.
That's right.
Ask a guy. We need a man's opinion, so we'll ask a guy.
You reached Tony.
Yeah, we did.
Tony, welcome to Crudimentary Questions.
Thank you so much for letting us call you.
It's my pleasure. I'm sorry it took so long for me to be accessible.
Oh, hey, we got you, man. We got you now.
Worth the wait, man.
All right, so
all
our topic today is nudity. And we were going to ask, our plan was just like, how do you feel about being nude in public? And then we're like, you have this job that seems appropriate. So,
can you tell us about that?
Yeah, tell us about your job.
Yeah, well, I do figure modeling as well as portrait and costume modeling on the side.
Nice.
And the figure modeling is full nudity.
Full, man.
And I've seen one of these. They're amazing.
Oh. Artist renditions.
Yes.
Renditions. Or renderings.
Yeah.
Yes, but go ahead.
So you're on like a big elevated. I don't know. You're elevated on a platform, probably like 3 to 4 feet, or probably 3 feet off the ground. And sometimes they're sitting, standing, laying, But it's about 4 hours of being naked
And
just
posing?
for random strangers.
So do you get to pick your own poses, or do they do it for you?
They usually do it for me. They usually have like the guy who puts on the class usually has an idea or two of what he wants to do, and then he gives that to the class to decide like if they want to do something like that or like this, and and then the class kind of chooses, and then I get to.
So the class
Then I get to hold-
decides the position you're in naked, like by committee.
For the most part.
That
the most
is
part, yeah.
such a vulnerable position to be in. So, okay, no, I have a question.
Yeah,
and
I have many questions.
Many questions.
Okay.
So in the penis department,
Sure.
does it shrink?
Well, no, not really. I mean, I wouldn't say I do not feel that I'm at my most prime flaccid
You're not at your
if that
peak.
makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm not at my peak flaccidity. Yeah. There's sometimes I feel like you look down and you're just like, yeah, I would totally be fine if like some chick just like walked in and was like, all right. And there's other times where it's just like, yeah, you're more in like prepared mode. Like you could move fast if you needed to. You can put it up real quick
It's
if needed.
primal.
Like, there's different levels.
Yeah, I guess that my question came from like because it's such a vulnerable position to be nude and exposed that way. I would imagine that your member does kind of like want to hide itself and protect itself. But you're saying that doesn't.
I think that's all mental. I mean, that's more mental, and I don't have a problem like being naked. Like it didn't bother me. Like even when I went the first time, the guy had asked me like if the teacher was like, have you ever like done anything like this before?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, no, I mean I've been naked before and like around people. And he was like, yeah, like go ahead.
Oh, sorry. How long are you nude in these scenarios?
Oh my god, I thought that was going someplace else.
Like
How
long
time?
are you
nude? Like 4 hours.
4 hours.
Wow.
Okay, the other half of the does it shrink question is, have you ever like had to suppress an erection?
Oh, good question.
No, not yet, but I have like thought about that and what would happen, like because you spend a lot of time kind of daydreaming, like so each time I hold pose is about 20 to 25 minutes, and then you get like a 5-minute break to go like pee or like whatever. And, so in that, like sometimes, it's kind of like that's dangerous territory in that you can be in like this mindset for like 20 minutes. If you like get lost in the wrong place in your mind, that could be bad.
Yeah.
If you start fantasizing instead of just daydreaming.
Yeah. If I start fantasizing. Yeah. Luckily, I'm not like being painted by, a bunch of like young 20-something-year-old art students. Like for the most part, it's middle-aged, like men or women.
People that you're not attracted to.
Yeah, I mean, I won't say that I'm not attracted to anyone because I'm attracted to almost anyone.
Yeah.
Right.
But,
of course.
But not my typical attracted person.
People that don't trigger the penis to do
right.
something.
Yeah.
Got it.
Slightly
Exactly,
outside of your type.
There you go. Yeah. They're not. I'm not looking at them and like immediately going into fantasizing mode.
And you get to see these drawings because you sent me a picture of one of them, which is pretty great. I mean, it's like seeing a cartoon of yourself almost, right? I mean, it's got to be surreal.
Yeah. What's super interesting too is for the most part, like the artists all do different
styles.
Like, one person usually does like oil paints, one person does acrylics, one person does chalks, one person does like charcoal. So you get to see a lot of like different styles of and angles like of the pose and of yourself. And some of them are flattering, and some of them you kind of go like,
oh, that's me.
Geez, that's scary.
That's my body.
Yeah,
That's
like,
my body right there.
Yeah.
Have you
but
ever?
I also have to tell myself like, that this is a drawing and an interpretation, like, so.
Right,
have you ever been like offended? I'm so sorry, but I keep thinking about your dick.
Yeah, it's a good thought.
But have you ever been like offended by the way someone drew your penis? You're like, I am not that small, or whatever.
Yeah, of course. Like every one of them.
Well,
no.
okay. Yeah.
No, but yeah, of course. Like, it is that's such a male question too. Of like, it's like the thing you ask your girlfriend that when you first like start dating, or you have sex the first time. It's like, so look, how did I compare? Like, was mine the biggest? And and 90% of the time they go, no, but it's the best size, and that always makes you go, oh, yeah, exactly.
Well, the one you sent me, I did notice that they went really heavy in the groin region with the pencil.
For the hair.
They were there for a while. I wondered about that.
They lovingly crafted it.
I think that was one of the females. Like, I don't know if that makes a difference, but I'm pretty sure that was one of the females that did that painting. I don't have a problem showing off.
I think it's safe to say that you are not ashamed of what the good Lord gave you. or
where he didn't give me enough, as some paintings have pointed out, I guess. Like,
well, it's just very refreshing to think about someone being like just not, it's no big deal. It's just your naked body. Everybody has one. We're all naked under these clothes. It's
sure, yeah, man.
I mean, like, I know I've got like insecurities and.
Well, Sandy's actually interested in the figure drawing as a job for her, as a side job.
Yeah, bring it on.
Oh yeah.
You and I should talk.
Yeah, I mean, we'll talk about it. Like, it's a good gig. Like,
she also wants to strip.
It is actually. I actually have to do I do pre-screening. So it's like a casting couch scenario. Just, you might want to touch base with your significant other about that.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
anyway.
I'm not serious.
Well,
but I think that's how easy it is to convince girls of the casting couch. Like, I'm sorry, there's a pre-screening. You'll have to meet me at my place around 11 o'clock.
Oh my.
tonight.
Okay. All right. We'll discuss it. All right. Well, thank you so much for your time.
You're very welcome.
And your lovely stories about your I just keep saying naked flesh.
Your naked flesh. Yes. Thank you so much for your insight, and let us know when your next class is, and we'll be there.
Yeah, we'll just join and start painting with our chalk.
It's on Tuesday at 10 o'clock. If you're interested, I can give you the information. You can definitely be there, and I think all you have to bring is yourself. You can buy all of the supplies. It's in an art
studio
store. Like,
store.
It's in an art store.
Okay,
like in the
I'm just
back.
gonna bring crayons.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
I'm gonna bring finger paint.
I think that is the best. That would be the most hilarious thing I could imagine happening. I would love that.
Yes.
And I would stare into your eyes the entire time.
We would.
Oh my gosh.
Like, I'd like free draw, like not losing eye contact with you.
We'll just live stream this entire thing. Yes, I love this. Well, thank you so much again for your time, Tony, and we're really appreciative of you.
All right, go have fun being
soon.
naked.
All right.
All right, bye.
Bye. Wow, that was amazing.
I agree.
Wow, thank you so much for listening. I mean, do you think we should go to that class?
I would be very much interested in it. I think I would. Again, I'll let the listeners know if I decide to be a model at the class, but I'm taking crayons.
I hope you do. And I'm going to be taking a tiny little skateboard for Tony's penis.
Oh, yeah, we should definitely make it.
Because I want that to be part of my drawing.
Yeah. Oh, add it in. Oh,
yeah.
You're like, it's surrealist.
Oh, my gosh. If any of you have a concept drawing of a dick on a skateboard, please send it to us on our Instagram or Twitter. I don't even know if you can do that. I guess you could tag us on.
Yeah, or you can email.
How does social media work?
Yeah.
Whatever.
Please get to us your artistic rendering of a dick on a skateboard. It would be great. And so this is the first episode, and we are so excited. Here we go, guys.
Thanks again.